Welcome, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda, and today I have a layout again from, it's supposed to be done in October, from Christy's 30 Days of Sketches, Christy's Beautiful Life, but I have been running late. So this particular sketch comes from Jenessa Franco and was for day 9, I believe, of last month. And here I have 4 more photos of my great-grandmother, and then I decided that this Cherish paper from Close to My Heart looks very similar to the Operation Smile stamp set, so I grabbed that plus some other stamps you saw. And then if you watch some of my other videos, I had done this background with a stencil and gesso, white gesso, and I wasn't able to use it on the original product that I had, so but I knew that I would use it in the future, and today is the day that I have used that piece of paper. So I'm just kind of looking at my scraps. I'm trying to figure out framing. I'm also trying to honor the sketch. The sketch looks like it has a frame, and then some stripes, and I'm starting to figure out where to put my 4 photos, just like the sketch has. I thought actually it was great. I wasn't sure how I wanted to do these, and then looking through the sketches that I didn't use already, this one just works great. So I went ahead, as you can see, and cut out frames for the 2 different sides of the mist cardstock, and then I'm also using the mist ink and just inking up all the edges. Actually, maybe I'm using Harbor. I think I'm using Harbor ink, so it's a little bit darker than the mist. And we're getting kind of a glimpse of where we're going here. And after I put those together, and I did dry fit it with the cream paper with the stencil on it, and it was too, I don't know, it just wasn't good enough, or it wasn't speaking to me. So then I grabbed my background element stamp here, and I'm trying to create a frame again on this frame. So I'm trying to line it up with the edge, and you don't have to worry about being perfect with the edge, because I know you can always add ink later, you can sponge it on. There are so many ways to cover the edge that you don't have to worry about that. I was more concerned about the corners and how those would overlap and having too much muddiness on the corners, but with this particular background stamp, it didn't seem to be a problem. You can see here that there's like a gap between the bottom border where it gets tighter, and in the image, it's kind of like a dark border and it flares out into things. But again, with inking the edges, though, it all gets camouflaged. I did speed this up, but I thought there might be some people that wanted to see exactly how I did the edges, since there's some open pieces. And here I'm just inking up the very edge of the stamp and filling the gap that I missed. And I did go around with the sponge again, and I'm putting more ink on it than I put on the edges of the frames when I initially inked them, just to give it that solid outline. And now it's like, oh, there's a frame coming into a frame. It's almost like a double mat of frames that you put on the walls. And here I trimmed down the gessoed piece with the stenciling, and I've now adhered it to my Versamat, because that just helps you line things up. I'm looking at the sketch, I'm looking at my photos, I'm going to dry fit them on here. I like to dry fit, and I know that this stenciled image is kind of upside down, but I just felt like these photos were going to be better on the left-hand part of this page. So I just turned the sketch 180 degrees and put my gesso piece there on the right side. And once we get the pattern papers on and the embellishments and everything else, I don't think that you'll see that gessoed stenciled piece has an upper or a top and bottom. You'll just see that it is something back there to add some interest. And to stretch some of my papers, I'm going to just go ahead and cut the little pieces that will be the gap between them. And because I have the 2 stripes, I wanted to make sure that the spacing is similar. So by cutting the piece that goes between the papers the same, I'm more likely to not overspace or underspace those, since the photos are different sizes. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it works in my head. And I did write because there was a name or a date on the back of one of the photos, and I wanted to make sure to keep that information because I don't have a lot of information about these photos. I have some stories from my aunt and a few from my mom. And here I'm combining the Cherish stickers from the paper pack along with the Love Story Toffee stickers that were in last year's Close to My Heart Core idea book. So I'm using up some of my stash with some of the new papers. And I'm going to try putting these green leaves behind this green flower, and it's just too much tone on tone, green on green, and my layout is more of the blue and creams, so I take that off and move in a different direction. Just again looking at these stickers, I pulled that leaf back that I had tried to put behind the green flower, and I think it works great with this blue flower, adding another one up here at the top. And now that stenciling that's behind the right hand edge, to me, I can't tell that it has a top and bottom, and it just is more added interest on the layout. And I just felt I wanted to carry that diagonal movement from the bottom to the top, so as you can see, I just added some more greenery with some stems, and it's just kind of a random going on. I am loving doing these pages for my mom's heritage album. Oh, so here's a trick. I took, as you can see, I'm writing August 1951, which was on the back of the photo of my great-grandmother in her nurse's uniform, and I'm writing it along the edge of the sticker sheet because it had a straight edge from the sticker next to it, and this way I don't have to worry about adhering down paper or whatever. It already has sticker on it, and I just put it right on the paper, and at least there's one denotion of, you know, history. There's one point that we know about the photos on this page, because they're from different generations even, because I think the top left corner is much later in life. I did find a photo of myself in, it was a Christmas photo, and I was a baby, must have been 2 years old, and she was there in the picture. So I did get to meet her. I don't remember the meeting. There's a close-up of the layouts. This came together very quickly. It was a lot of fun to do. Here's how you can connect with me on social media if you're interested. I do have a Facebook group that we're starting to get more activity in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do that now so you don't miss anything that I post. Here's another video you may be interested in. Have a blessed day. Thank you.